Okay, so this is an embodied consent exercise adapted from a similar exercise that I did with Stacey K. Haynes. And part of the idea with this embodied consent activity is being able to say no and to say yes from a rooted embodied place. So this is particularly useful for those of us who, like myself, tend to take on too much responsibility and tend to have a really hard time saying no to things even when I need to say no in order to take care of myself, but also thinking about things that we want to say yes to, and that may be things that we're afraid to say yes to. So thinking about how we can get in tune with our bodies in order to see and feel the yes, the maybe, and the no. So to start this practice, I'm going to do a little bit of grounding into the practice. So as you're ready, feet about shoulder width, hip width apart, just letting the shoulders relax down and back, nice and tall through the top of the head. And just finding our breath here, finding our roots down through the bottoms of the feet. You can keep your eyes open or closed or just soften the gaze as you like. So we'll just start to find that breath, let everything kind of slow down and settle down a little bit. As we inhale and exhale here, we might start to feel ourselves grow a little taller through the top of the head. Maybe imagine yourself growing a little bit taller through the top of the head. And just finding that breath where it meets you. You can find any kind of breathing practices, any way that you would like to start this embodied consent exercise, any way that you would like to ground yourself and prepare. So we're going taller as we breathe here, maybe also going a little bit wider, maybe kind of unfurling the shoulders here, feeling that depth and length and height here as we breathe into our lungs and out of the lungs. And here we might imagine all of the space around us, what we might refer to as the kinesphere, the distance that we can reach with our arms, with our legs, this being your space, right? And thinking about your comfort level in terms of that space, right? How close do you want people to be in that space, and different kinds of closeness for different kinds of people, perhaps. And so just that bubble of space around you as we start that embodied consent exercise. And again, just continuing to breathe here. So I'm going to show you the movements that go along with this embodied consent exercise and then give you a couple different ways to practice them. So as we're breathing here, we might think about the openness of the chest here and embodying a yes here. So as we breathe and we have the palms face open, tall to the top of the head, we might say yes out loud. We might say that, we might repeat it to ourselves and just feel, how does yes feel in your body? As we continue to breathe, we might take this to a maybe. How does the maybe feel in your body? I like to kind of vacillate here between yes and no, right? That maybe, that kind of like, oh, maybe. How does maybe feel in our bodies? And then taking that to the no. And think about that nice firm pushing away of the thing that you do not want. Again, you might say no. You might say it out loud. You might say it louder. You might just repeat it in your head. But again, just grounding through the feet, feeling that strength and stability through the lower body, the strength in your core, the point at the bottom of the belly, and just think or say no. So again, we've got those movements of no, of maybe, whether that's still or maybe a little movement with your maybe, and then the yes, that open and accepting yes. So as we continue to breathe, we might just first think about something, and this might be something that you want to do, or it might be a past scenario, whatever comes to mind, whatever you want to work with. So you can work with something specific, or you can just practice this embodied consent without a specific thing that you're saying yes, no, or maybe to. So if you'd like to select something that, again, you're thinking, maybe you want to say yes to it, or maybe you want to say no, or maybe something you said yes to in the past that you want to say no to, however you want to think about that exercise. So we might think about something, we might just say yes to it here, and again, just feeling how that yes feels in our body. We might work with that same idea and say maybe to it, right? See how the maybe feels in our body. And again, maybe with that same idea, we say no to it. And we think about how does that feel in our body to be able to say no. So this is a practice that I've just, again, really briefly introduced here. And it's something that you can kind of play with a little bit, see how it works for you. And just, again, think about breathing in strength and stability and saying no with the body, or being open and accepting and saying yes with the body, or being okay to be there in that middle ground of maybe, and see how that feels. So again, embodied movements, here, embodied consent, and again, a tool that we can use anytime we need it.